Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The subject of the discourse today is faculty. The 5 spiritual faculties which constitute a part of the Bodhipakkhya Dhamma, the enlightenment, the requisites of enlightenment. That is, these 5 faculties are part of the enlightenment process. They lead to enlightenment. That's what is meant by that. Now, what exactly is a faculty? Indriya, that is the subject of our discussion today. And it is a profound subject and it needs a lot of attention. So I will advise every one of you to be very attentive and try to understand me. This is a very, very profound thing to understand. And if we don't understand this, we really cannot understand life. But this is not only a part of life, it governs our existence in a very, very profound way. Now, for instance, the ability to see, the ability to talk, the ability to think. These are all very profound abilities and powers, or skill, or intelligence factors, or aptitude, which are inborn. We are born with these faculties, with this inherent power, or original power. You see, we are born with that, and till we die, they are there. So, unless we understand them, because they are powers, special aptitude, special abilities with which we are equipped. And unless we understand them, we will not know how to use these faculties, how to use these special abilities or skills or aptitudes. Now the ability to talk, let us say, well, all of us are endowed with that. But then we make a mess of this ability of talking. So this very ability to talk, or the faculty of talking, now it can become a source of bandhana, very great bondage, and a source of spiritual impediment, nivarana. If we don't know how to talk properly, if we are, for instance, if we lie, it's an evil karma. Or if we talk about other people, carrying tales between 2 persons and creating hell for both the persons. Or just gossiping, doing nothing, just talking, jabbering. Or being very angry and hateful and just full of hate, your words, abusive. Now, these are words, these are the abilities to talk. And yet these talks are so very, toxic, if we might say so. They are defiling the mind. And they can make life absolutely miserable here and now, as well as hereafter. Ihaloka, paraloka, dukkha. They bring all the suffering in this world as well as in the next world or future worlds. So these faculties, just an example of the ability to talk or ability to see. Now, just as the negative way I have mentioned about how a wrong type of talking or speech can become a source of great misery and misfortune here and now and hereafter. Similarly, the same thing had happened in the positive. Now, if we stick to telling the truth. What are the benefits? Just as if you keep on telling lies, nobody will believe you. You just become an undependable, unreliable, dangerous human being. Nobody can depend upon you. Nobody believes you. Your life is miserable. It's a hell. And the people will avoid you wherever you are. Now, on the other hand, just the opposite. If you are a truthful person, you are the most reliable person, most dependable person. You are the person to whom people will go for reconciling differences. There are conflicts all over the world. In our day-to-day life, it's filled with conflicts. And we need to, people who will bring about a reconciliation between conflicting individuals. So to resolve these conflicts, we need people who can reconcile, who can bring about concord amidst discord, reconciliation amidst conflicts. So, and that happens when you are a very reliable, truthful, straightforward, to the point type of individual. You talk, you see exactly what a thing is, or the facts about things, just factual. And that also imbued with a sense of responsibility. That if I tell lie, if I don't tell the truth, there will be some people will be harmed, will suffer. Why cause suffering? So the motive behind talking, being truthful, is equally important. It's not enough that you are truthful, so you go and blurt out the truth in such a negative way, in such an unskillful way, that truthful speech itself hurts, itself creates problem. Because you have put it in a clumsy way, you speak the truth in a clumsy and crude manner. So it's not enough that you are merely truthful. You are truthful with a refinement, with a sense of responsibility, that may it bring happiness in all. So with a mind imbued with metta, with loving kindness, goodwill, and with compassion, you tell the truth. Then a person of your kind is very, very powerful person, because you are equipped with a very powerful indriya, powerful faculty of reflecting truth through speech. So indriya is a part of truth. Reality which actually exists. Now truth is defined as conventional truth and ultimate truth. All of you know that. I will repeat in any case. You see, it will be helpful for the purpose of understanding the faculties. Now, truth can be conventional, man-made, and it did not reflect the ultimate nature of things. It can be just conceptual also, pure mentally created, mentally formulated thing. Now, for instance, if a person is called, now you tell a person, what's your name? And you said, Mariappa. Very good. What is that Mariappa? Well, it's a conventionally identifying, it's just some kind of identification mark. A name has been given to you just to identify you in the family, in your society, in the world as a whole. So now, but this does not mean that there is a thing called Mariappa in the ultimate sense. No. That's only a name for a person to identify the person, given by somebody, namely the parents. But what is behind Mariyappa, that is there. What is behind Mariyappa? Mariyappa is ultimately, you see, as a human being, Mariyappa, you see, means Nama Rupa. You see, the body and the mind. Any other thing associated with that, like, say, if you say, oh, there is also spirit. Mind, body, spirit, soul. Now the spirit, soul, etc. is a concept. It is a man-made idea. It doesn't actually exist. You can't identify where is that or which is that. Which is the spirit? The nose, the tongue, the leg, the head. It's only a concept of a something that is behind. But when we talk of mind, yes, mind exists and it's not a concept. And it not only exists, it is a power. It empowers the human being. Now, for instance, a person, an uneducated, absolutely nincompoop from a village who knows nothing about the world. So he is planted somewhere in the middle of a big city. Now, he can't function. He can't express himself, nor can he understand the others. So life is just plain hell for him and for others who are with him. So if you now put this chap through a process of education in a school, and he is educated, he becomes a matriculate first of all, high school graduate, and then he goes further into the college and he becomes a graduate, Pakka graduate, a bachelor of this, that and so on. Now after he becomes a graduate, he can become a teacher. You add another ed, B.Ed, he becomes a teacher. Now he was a complete foolish fellow knowing nothing, now he is a teacher. Now his mind is empowered by two things. He has acquired certain intelligence through the educational process. He had an inborn intelligence, all right, by birth. That is the faculty, Manindriya. But then that has to be developed. So acquired intelligence is required, which he gets from education. So his mind is now empowered by this thing called acquired intelligence. And not only intelligence, he has acquired other things also along with that. He has acquired knowledge. He has acquired, let us say, certain spiritual, moral qualities like moral shame and moral fear. He will have moral shame to do evil or not to do good, or he will have moral fear not to do good or to do evil. So these moral shame and fear are very, very important qualities of mind. They are mental factors which make all the difference between a good or a bad man. A bad man is he who has got no moral shame, no sense of moral, integrity or moral sense of shame or fear and all that. Whereas a good man, yes, he has got that. That makes the difference between the two. So, as a moral power, Manindriya also includes not only the world of mind, or mind as a source of power, but not only physical or mental power, but moral power as well. Then is also a source of spiritual power. A man who has got a sense of reverence for good things, for good people, for elders, for mother, for father, for teachers. Now such a man and an irreverent man who goes about strutting about, thinking himself to be very important, very pompous, Now such a man is a nuisance to the society, to others. He goes about throwing his weight everywhere, thinking that, oh, he's such a big fellow and very talented, good and whatnot, very egoistic. That man is a source of suffering for so many people. Whereas a man who is humbled by a sense of, being reverent, being devotional, being very loyal. So there are qualities of loyalty. The whole family life is impossible without a sense of loyalty. Loyalty between husband and wife, loyalty between brother and sister, between relatives, loyalty between human beings. Loyalty is a quality, say, a relationship between the state and the individual. So now this sense of loyalty is something that makes a person very different. And what is that sense of loyalty or reverence or devotion? That is called Saddhindriya, Saddha Indriya, the faculty of faith, where a person can become very humble, very loyal, very reverential. Now, with this quality, when it, when it is associated with the empowering faculty of mind as an faculty, and educated mind is not only mind but intelligent mind. So here the faculty also gets more and more embellished, more and more empowered by additional faculties. So Saddhindriya or Saddha, Shraddha, Indriya. The word Indriya has been defined in this way. Indrasya karmam iti indriyam. Pali, Indasya kammang iti indriyam. That is, Indra means a ruler. You see, suppose now the divine ruler is called Indra or Sakra. Or any other human ruler also has got this appendage in his name as Indra. Say Jivendra, Rakshendra, Dishindriya, Suryendriya, Chandrindriya, all kinds of Indriyas, you see, all names are added with this. Ravindra, and so like this. So that here, Indra means the ruling quality or the ruler. So, this Indriya, I have already mentioned as an example, the Indriya, the faculty of ability to talk or speak or communicate. Similarly, the faculty of being loyal, faculty of being devotional, humble and faithful. A faithless man is a source of great trouble to everybody in the world. A faithful person is a source of security and happiness. So here, the mind as a faculty, that is as an original source of power. In dictionary, faculty is said to be a natural gift, a natural skill or intelligence, or a natural ability of a person, unique to an individual. That is, each person has a certain faculty which is very unique to the person. It doesn't include others or everybody. You see, it's not it doesn't talk of a whole lot of people, but each individual has a certain ability or capacity, certain skill or intelligence. Now that is called Indriya. Now it is something like, now physically we have got at least 7 such Indriyas. For instance, the ability to see, Chakkhundriya, Chakshundriya, the eye faculty, the ability of the eye to see things. Now, the difference between a blind man and a man of sight, one who is endowed with the faculty of sight, ability to see. There is a very great difference. This blind man is completely devoid of a whole world of experience that comes from the ability to see. And life itself becomes so very burdensome when you can't see. You have to depend on so many other factors which have nothing to do with you. You have to be totally dependent, all because you don't have the faculty of seeing. Similarly, for instance, the faculty of hearing, Sotindriya, the ability to hear. You see, a person who cannot hear, you see, he has got so much of, he's a very handicapped man. As you grow old and you can't hear, and people say something and you can't hear, you have to ask again and again, hey, Jor se bol, come and talk loudly. Now that happens with me all the time. Now our other devotees who are of course putting something in the ear, now for instance, Vingamanda Rangaswamy, our very good devotee, somebody has given him something in the ear so he can hear very clearly. But then if you remove that, he can't hear at all, he is just stone deaf. So there are advantages and disadvantages in everything. So if you are a deaf person, my goodness, that's a very big handicap indeed, just as a blind person. Why? Because that indriya, that faculty is dysfunctional or is just not there. It's not functional. Similarly, the ability, the special natural ability or power to smell, that's a very great ability indeed. And if we don't have this power, it can be a big handicap indeed by itself. You see, there are poisonous things, for instance, very toxic things. If you smell, you may die. Now suppose you don't have that ability to smell or identify